Hey guys, Ronnie here with Alien Investigations, the show that investigates UFOs, alien phenomenon, and strange news around the world. In today's show, we're going to check out 2 UFO sightings, including one of my own. This was the first sighting that I've ever seen in plain daylight. Unfortunately, I didn't have my phone at the time I seen it. I know. I bet you guys are grilling me right now. Because at the end of each episode, I say, make sure to have your phones and cameras ready because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. Now, I usually have it in my pocket everywhere I go, but this time it was in my office and I was outside with my binoculars, and it just so happened that I was just looking at some clouds and getting a good focus for some later digiscoping, but lo and behold, there they were, 2 UFOs. I'll tell you the whole story of what happened, and I'll show you a video reenactment of what exactly that I saw. Now, in case you're wondering what digiscoping is, it's when you use your phone or another recording device to record or take pictures through a pair of binoculars, monoculars, spotting scopes, telescopes, or even microscopes. Now, I didn't have this cheap adapter. Well, some are cheap anyway. But I'm going to show you the setup that I have that I made before I knew that they actually sold these things. And the ones that I recommend if you decide to get one for yourself for some UFO spotting. But we'll talk all about that later on in the show, so stick around. Okay, since this episode is the 13th episode, I figured it might be fun if we talked a bit about the number 13 and the strange superstition that goes with it. The number 13 is synonymous with bad luck, but is there any statistical proof to support this superstition? For most people, it's considered unlucky to have 13 guests at a dinner party. Many buildings don't have a 13th floor, and most people avoid getting married or buy a house on a day marked by this dreaded number. Friday the 13th is considered by many as one of the unluckiest days of the year. If you are worried about what's in store this time, then you're not alone. Psychologists have even come up with a word for how you're feeling: paraskevodecatria, or fear of Friday the 13th. Try saying that 3 times in a row. In fact, this year in 2017, there happened to be 2 Friday the 13th, January 13th and October the 13th. So good luck. And that was my impersonation of Vincent Price. During the Middle Ages, superstition around this day has seemed to come about, and many have biblical origins. Historians have claimed it was the day Eve bit the apple from the tree of knowledge, the great flood began, and the builders of the Tower of Babel. So the number 13 has been considered unlucky for many years, even before Christ. The number 12, however, is historically considered the number of completeness. There's 12 months of the year, 12 gods of Olympus, 12 hours on a clock, while its older cousin, 13, has been seen as an outlier. Judas the Apostle, who later betrayed Jesus, was supposedly the 13th guest to sit down at the Last Supper. Christ was crucified on a Friday. In numerology, 13 is considered to be an irregular number and is also the number of witches you need to form a coven. Here's some bad things that all happened on Friday the 13th. In 2010, lightning struck a 13-year-old boy on Friday the 13th at 1:13. But in military time, that's 1313. Definitely unlucky for him. A Chilean Air Force plane disappeared in the Andes on Friday the 13th, October 1972, with 16 survivors turning up 2 months later. They had been forced to eat dead passengers in order to survive. Buckingham Palace was hit by 5 German bombs on Friday, September 13, 1940, with both King George VI and Queen Elizabeth coming close to being killed. 1 member of the royal staff died, and the palace chapel was destroyed. Rapper Tupac Shakur died of his wounds on Friday, September 13, 1996, 6 days after being shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting. Some conspiracy theorists have suggested that the 13th floor in government buildings is not really missing, but actually contains top secret governmental departments, or more generally that it is proof of something sinister or clandestine going on. This implication is often carried over implicitly or explicitly into popular culture in such films like The 13th Floor, Nightmare on the 13th Floor, 1408, and of course the famous blockbuster film of Friday the 13th. So that's the dark side of 13. Let's take a moderate stroll on the light side. After every Friday the 13th comes a Saturday the 14th, which can only mean one thing: the weekend is nearly upon us. Britons were allowed to let it all hang out when the first nudist colony was founded in the UK by the North Devon Club in Metro that whimsically opened on Friday, June 13th, 1930. And last but not least, the famous Hollywood sign, which originally read Hollywoodland, was unveiled on Friday, July 13th, 1923. It was actually built to advertise a housing development, but since then it has become one of the world's biggest tourist attractions. Okay, enough of that stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. So first, we're going to take a look at some video footage from a friend of mine that was sent in for review. Now, this video was taken in Burke, Louisiana, and it was from this month of May in 2017, of course. Now, there are two videos, and it appears to be the same object, but I'm not too sure. In the first video here, the object is moving to the left, and in the next video, it's going to be going to the right. And I'm not sure on the time difference or if this was a day or two apart, but this was on the side of the levee there by the river. Now this appears to be a cylinder-shaped object, and you can't see any indication of wings, and there is no contrail. Also, I know for a fact that this can't be a blimp because this thing is moving pretty fast. Blimps typically move very slowly. As we zoom into this object, we still can't make it out too clearly. Unfortunately, the camera couldn't zoom in enough. So I made a still image of this and zoomed into it with Photoshop as far as I could. I used this bird flying through the frame here for a reference point. So here's what it looks like. And here's what it looks like with brightness and contrast added. And here's what it looks like inverted. So I'm not sure what this is, guys. Leave me some comments below on what you think this could be, and maybe we can both figure it out together. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the story about what I seen on Saturday of May 20th, 2017. I also submitted my sighting to MUFON under case number 84059 in case you like to check it out there too. Since I didn't get to video what I seen because my phone was apparently in my office in my house and I only seen it through the binoculars, so I created a reenactment video of exactly what I saw that day, and I also submitted that to MUFON. So I'm going to go ahead and read exactly the report that I put in my statement. Saturday, May 22nd, 2017 at approximately 5 p.m. in Lafayette, Louisiana. I was looking at the clouds at about a 45-degree angle in the northern part of the sky to focus my binoculars for later use. As soon as I got the focus on the clouds that I was looking at, there they were, two UFOs, one on top of the other in close proximity to each other. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because this was my first actual daylight sighting, and not just one, but two at the same time. The one underneath the other was moving left to right from side to side in a straight pattern, while the other one just hovered above it. I kinda got the feeling that the bottom one was using the craft to wave at me, as if to say, "Hi, here we are, can you see me?" As it was moving side to side, as if someone was moving their hand to wave. They were both saucer-shaped, looked exactly the same, and was black or dark gray in color, and both had lights in the front that pulsated back and forth similar to the Knight Rider Corps, but the pulsating of the lights were only slower. The color of the lights from my perspective was red on the left, blue in the middle, and either yellow or white on the right, or it could have been white in the middle or blue on the left. Can't really recall the exact color scheme. Now I couldn't make out the size because I couldn't see them with the naked eye, only through the binoculars. I was using a red field binocular that was 10 by 50x power, but they were clear as day to see the shape, color, and what they were doing. I put the binoculars down to see if I could see them with my eyes again, but they were way too far. But as soon as I looked back in the binoculars, I could see them again. I was hoping to get video footage. As I kept watching for about 30 seconds, a dark cloud was moving towards that area where they were. That's when I told my wife to go inside and hurry and grab my phone. I was going to try and film it through the binoculars, but by the time the dark cloud got to where they were, I couldn't see them anymore. The cloud seemed to stay there for a while, which I found strange, and maybe even thought something behind the cloud, like a mothership using a cloud cloaking device, because after it finally cleared up that area, I couldn't see the other craft again. I stayed out there all day and hooked up my phone to record through the binoculars, but I didn't see them again. So that's exactly what happened, and here's some video footage of the reenactment video that I put together just to give you an idea of what exactly I saw. It was pretty crazy. So now I want to go ahead and finish telling you about digiscoping and what you can use for some really good UFO spotting. I'm using a pair of red field binoculars with 10 by 50 power, and later that day after I finally got it set up, it took a little while to get it to focus right. My wife had seen something. I wasn't sure what it was, but we started videoing through the binoculars and we found out it was a balloon. The people across the street had a birthday party, and I'm pretty sure that's where the balloon had came from. But here's the video footage that I caught with that, and I focused in with the binoculars on it. Just filming through the phone. I zoomed in just a little bit to relieve the circle-ish that you get when you're videoing through binoculars, a little circle area. You could zoom in a little bit with your phone just to get past that, and then I would focus with the binoculars itself to bring in whatever I'm looking at into a clearer perspective. So check out the video footage, and this is how it looks when you're filming through a pair of binoculars. So as you can see, it does work pretty daggone well as long as you can focus your binoculars to whatever you're looking at. I'm still pissed off because it took me hours to get this dang thing to work right with the stuff that I had. And this was well after I had seen the 2 UFOs. So I was hoping to see them again, but unfortunately I didn't. I just ordered this phone adapter and it should be in the mail by the time you watch this video, but I used what I had at the time. So basically how I have this set up is I have a control arm with a clamp that connects to my tripod plate, and I clamp it to a selfie stick to hold my iPhone. And here are the 2 adapters for digiscoping that I recommend you get if you have a pair of binoculars or monoculars or a spotting scope, so that you can record some footage of what you see with your phones. Like I said, it's great for UFO spotting. Now, first we're going to take a look at the cheaper one, and I'm not meaning cheaper in quality because these are both very good devices, but I'll leave it up to you on which you like better. So the first one is SVBONY is the name brand of it. And here are a few pictures of what that looks like. So if you have an iPhone 6 Plus like me or something smaller, this will definitely fit your phone, because iPhone 6 Plus is like 3.6 inches wide or 77.8 millimeters, and this thing will fit from a 52 through a 100 millimeter with that size. So here is the more expensive one, and this one is called Carlson Hookups 2.0. There was an older version, but I wouldn't recommend getting that one, and here's why. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and show you a few examples of why they are not good buys, and these 2 are the best in my opinion. So I did some research and I watched a few videos that have, various people been using these things, and here's what they had to say about a few of these other models. For the old hookups model, they said that the grip is not strong enough to really hold your phone sideways, which is using the full scale of video, and which of course that is the only way you should be shooting video with your phone, and it's to hold your phone sideways, not straight up and down. Now the new version, the Hookup 2.0, however, is really strong with a very strong gripper, so it works well. Now this other model here again, complaints came in when they tried to turn their phone sideways and shoot video the right way. And again, the phone, because of the weight and gravity, like if you have a big phone like me, an iPhone 6 Plus, so the phone starts to slide down and then it starts losing focus. It moves it out of view to where you have to readjust it and all that good stuff. So if you're shooting something you really want to catch, this could be a big problem. So anyway, I put the links in the description below on the ones that I recommend, guys, and these are excellent for UFO spotting. And I'm going to be upfront and honest with you guys. These are affiliate links, so if you click on them and buy from my links, I get a small commission. And of course, that helps support the channel. So please guys, if you do pick up one of these, go ahead and use my links below. And if they're out when you click on the links, go ahead and send me an email with the one that you're trying to get, and I'll send you a new link to use. Because sometimes these sellers that I'm affiliated with do sell out or go out of stock of these things. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more great stuff to come. Also, you can find our contact details in the description below if you'd like to send us some pics or video footage that you caught of a sighting and you want to share it with the rest of us on the channel. Don't be shy and send it in to us. So again, don't forget to like and share and subscribe on your way out, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified when the next video comes out. And remember guys, don't be like me on Saturday. Keep looking to the skies and have your phones and cameras ready because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. I'll see you right back here every Wednesday with fresh new episodes of Alien Investigations.